Today I'm coming to you with the myths of medical billing and the truth behind them. Because if you know me, you know I'm all about the truth. My name is Tamika. I'm a certified professional biller and a certified professional practice manager. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video if you actually like the video, and leave comments. I want to hear your comments and what you think about what I'm saying. Let me know if you have your own myths, because I'm going to be doing kind of like a series, couple of videos talking about the myths of medical billing. And if you're interested in starting your own medical billing business, I have a free medical billing business checklist that will help you start your medical billing business with confidence. I give you a 12-step guide to start that medical billing business, because it can be hard sometimes and you just don't know where to go, what step to take. So I'm giving you those steps so that you can finally start your medical billing business. Now, myth number one is a common one. I put it as number one to just get it out there. Medical billing and medical coding are the same. Now, if you've been on my channel for any time now, when I mean anytime, I mean maybe even last video, you would know that I always tell you that medical billing and medical coding is not the same. And speaking about my last video, I did a collaboration with Kat from Level Up Medical Coding, and I'll link that above so to make sure that you watch her video and my video, because that actually goes through what medical billers do and what medical coders do. But in this video, we're talking about the myth of that. And the truth behind that myth is that they are not the same. They are so closely related that I guess you may get it mixed up because they are that closely related. But in short, medical billing is when the provider or another individual, a coder, actually looks through the medical records, reads the medical records, and then assigns standardized codes, being ICD-10 codes, CPT codes, HCPCS codes, which is CPT codes. They assign some type of code. But in order to assign that code, they have to read the medical records. That is what a medical coder does. A medical biller then takes those codes that the medical coder or the provider gives to them and puts them on the claim form, and then follows that claim through the process of getting paid. Medical billers, like myself, want to make sure that the provider is being paid for the services that they are rendering. So one is actually coding, reading the charts, trying to figure out what was done, and the next one is the one who deals with reimbursement, being the biller. So that myth of medical billing and coding being the same has been debunked. That is not true. They are not the same, and I don't care how many people tell you that it is not. Myth number two is that if you submit a clean claim once, you don't have to follow up on that claim. Now, that is a myth for sure, and I wish it was that easy as submitting a clean claim, but that definitely is not the case. Now, if you submit a clean claim, and a clean claim being one that has all the requirements to have the claim sent through to the payer without being sent back, and that means having on the correct demographics, codes, diagnosis, NPIs, all of the things that are required on the claim form, that you have what is required to send a claim through. However, that doesn't mean that you don't have to follow up on that claim, because you may have all the things on the claim form, but then your claim has been lost, it has been denied, it has just not been processed. Something can still happen with that clean claim. So even though you sent a clean claim one time, you make sure you follow up on that claim and that the cycle of that claim has been completed, that the payer has received it, that they have processed it, that they have paid it, or processed it, because even though a claim has been processed, it might not be paid. So just make sure that it has been followed through, even to the patient, if they have a responsibility for that claim. So just because you send a clean claim one time does not mean that you don't have to follow up on that claim. Be sure to tell me your myths below that you have heard about medical billing. I'm sure that you've heard a lot that I probably haven't heard of. So make sure you comment them below and let us talk about those myths. And myth number 3 means that denials mean that the claim has been done wrong. Now that is a myth because denials don't mean that you have done something wrong. I know that many times when new billers get denials, they kind of get discouraged. They don't know what to do. They may decide to write it off or not send it again because they feel like they don't know what to do and obviously they are doing something wrong. But sometimes when you get a denial, that doesn't mean that you did something wrong. It may mean that there's an eligibility issue, that the payer has not processed the claim correctly according to the policy. It can mean many things that doesn't interpret that you as the biller did something wrong. So what happens when you get a denial is that you need to go through that denial. Understand why the payer said that it was a denial in the first place. Figure out what the reason is. On most EOBs, which is explanation of benefits, or ERAs, which are electronic remittance advice, it will tell you the reason that the payer thinks that the claim should be denied. Just because that reason is there and that's what the payer says, that doesn't mean that that is the right reason or that that means that you have done it wrong. That's why it's important for you to know the fundamentals of billing. That's why it's important for you to continue to learn your specific specialty and billing in general. Because a payer may tell you that this is not correct, but that doesn't mean that that is right. Now, they do determine what they're paying for and what they're not paying for. But you as a biller are responsible to fight for claims being paid correctly if that's how it's supposed to be paid. So for example, a claim may not be paid because it is saying that it needs a specific modifier that was just updated maybe a month ago from the time that you sent a claim. So because the payer system has not updated to this new requirement, when you send in the claim with that new requirement that they're asking for, it gets denied. Now, you would automatically say, oh, I did something wrong. But if you've gone through the policies of that patient's account, you've gone through the new updates for that payer, and you notice that as of, let's say, October 1st, you're supposed to bill this certain code a certain way, and then you do it and they still deny it, then you should fight for that. Now, I hope you understood that because it could have been a little bit confusing, but sometimes the payers don't update their systems. Sometimes the person who is actually processing the claim manually may mess up, or even the computer may mess up. Because if the payer hasn't updated their computer system, then the computer system will follow what is in their database. They're not going to follow what was on paper. So you want to make sure that when you get a denial, that you don't automatically just think that it's something that you did wrong and let it go. You need to look into it, make sure that the denial reason is a reason that is valid, correct it if it is, and if it's not, fight for it. Maybe you need to send in an appeal. Maybe you need to call the insurance company and speak to a representative. Do what you have to do in order to get that claim paid correctly. So I'll see you again in my next video talking about 3 more myths and the truth behind them.